I think that there's a real challenge for people that are becoming spiritually aware. I'll give you an example. So I became aware of being a spiritual being probably much earlier than most people do, or many people do. Certainly, I've gotten a lot of wild-eyed looks when I've told my story.
Yeah.
But the first profoundly demonic, and if you will, I would even say satanic interaction that I had that's unambiguous, that just is what it is. It was the spirit realm interjecting into the physical realm in a very tangible way. I was 5, and it opened a door of darkness in my life that was just almost unfathomable. And that interaction made me keenly aware that I'm a spiritual being that can move in that realm, right? I called for a meeting, and I got the meeting. And when the Lord of the Flies showed up in my backyard in taking physical form, that leaves an impression on your life. You're 5. Okay. Like, I know some things now. I know that all that is not just in the Bible. I know that there's something behind all this talk that I'm hearing at church. And I'm not entirely sure what to chalk it up to, but even to this day, the preponderance of interactions that I have with the spirit realm that get to that point where they manifest into the realm of physicality and begin to blur the boundaries between the unseen realm and this dimension are negative. It has to do with the kingdom of darkness. And that's a little hard when God is a voice in your heart, but the devil can be a beast on your back porch. Like, it's, and so I hit a point when I was truly committed to surrendering my life to Jesus, because through much of my life, the lines between the realms were so blurry for me that I just, my understanding of and my way of moving through the world was just profoundly different than most of the people around me, because I was constantly having to parse what was happening in which realm and how much of it could people around me see. And obviously, when you talk about that, it sounds like mental illness, for one thing. But I hit a point pretty early on, once I had truly surrendered to Jesus, that I told the Lord, you got to turn it off. Like, I can't with this. I don't know what this is.
It's too much.
Yeah. You know the famous line from Monk, the TV show, it's a gift and a curse. Yeah. I wasn't sure about the gift. I knew the curse. Like, this thing is just too much. And a lot of times it was straight up discernment of spirits, where I would just see somebody as they actually were and not the way they were presenting themselves. Wow. And it made it profoundly difficult to find a church to get connected to. Yeah. After I wasn't where I had grown up. And so, the bottom line was, I told the Lord, you got to turn this off, because I can't handle knowing all that and trying to work on me. And he did. He turned it off like a switch. And for 2 years, nothing. And it was so enjoyable. Did you see the poem that I quoted? I never got to it in my notes, but a couple weeks ago I had dropped a stanza from a poem.
Oh yeah.
In my notes at church, and let me get back to it here. So it's from Thomas Gray's Ode on a Distant Prospect of Eton College. So he's thinking back in older age to college days. And he has this stanza. To each his, and part of it folks will recognize because we've drawn a common saying out of it, a cliche. To each his sufferings, all are men, condemned alike to groan. The tender for another's pain, the unfeeling for his own. Yet why should they know their fate, since tomorrow never comes too late, and happiness too swiftly flies? So why should people have to know what's to come? Because what's to come is coming quickly enough, right? Thought would destroy their paradise. That line right there, when you realize what this is behind, I think for most people it will change the import of a saying we use all the time. But thought would destroy their paradise. No more. The paradise would be no more. Where ignorance is bliss, 'tis folly to be wise. This saying that ignorance is bliss, that's really what I was leaning into when I told the Lord, shut it off. I can't handle it. And to kind of make a long story short, I lived in that state of like thought would destroy this paradise. Like where ignorance is bliss, it's folly to be wise. And I did. I was able to put down roots. I met my wife. I got direction. I got set in the right direction. And then God had to threaten me through a prophetic word if I didn't agree to turn that back on. Whew. And so I cried uncle, and he turned it back on. And if I recall correctly, I think it was that night that a physical demon jumped out of a tree and grabbed onto my back. And like when it turned back on, it was back on.
There was no ramp up.
No ramp. Like we were just right back in it. And after a little while, I called an old prophet. I said, Mike East, I said, Brother East, like, I can't handle the noise. It's so much. And this is why I'd asked God to turn it off. And he wasn't very nice about telling me to turn it back on.
Right.
And now it's back on. I feel like I've been blackmailed into having this giftedness in operation. And I can't deal. It's just it all comes at me all at once. And I can't deal with it. I didn't have the words for it then, but now I understand I was overstimulated. And
really?
Well, yeah, because I struggle with that IRL because
anyway,
yeah, just in my daily life, because that's one of the aspects of neurodivergence is you tend to get all inputs at the same volume. So like one of the things that I'm subtly aware of as we're sitting here is that I'm completely aware of this light, this light, this light, this light, these screens, these mics, the way this jacket feels, the way my insides are feeling because of having wolfed down a quick dinner on the way to, like all these inputs are coming, the temperature, all of it, I'm getting them all at the same level. So when I leave here tonight, I'll be wrecked because I don't really have that filter that tells me like we don't need this information, that information, you know. So I tend to get it all at once and all at the same volume. And learning how to function through that, that's why I tend to be pretty good in crisis, because
you said that all the time.
Everybody else is panicking, and this is just another day in paradise for me. Like,
just like, yes,
this is
another Tuesday.
It's called life.
You're right.
So spiritually speaking, I was having that same experience. And so Mikey's response was just so simple. He just said, son, have you ever turned a dial on an old school television? I said, well, don't tell my parents, but yeah. He said, you know, when you're in between stations and you're getting some of this one, some of that one, some of the static and all that. I said, yeah. He said, that's where you are. You just need to ask the Lord to help you identify which station to be tuned into when, and learn how to dial it in, and you'll get the stuff that you're supposed to get. You'll have to decide what to do with that stuff, but it's a lot less than what you're getting, which is just flashes of all of it.
That's so good.
Changed my life.
That's profound wisdom.
Really profound wisdom.
Wow.
So this is a lot of it, I think, right now, is we're all receivers and transmitters, but we're all receivers, and the inputs are so high right now that a lot of people, I think, are just, it's just they're getting a flash of this, a flash of that, a flash. And part of hearing God's voice is just to say, Father, which station are you broadcasting from? Where do you want me looking right now?
Listen, that was just a short clip. And if you enjoyed that, I know you are going to love the full episode. I'm going to link it down below. And if you're not subscribed already, tell me, what are you waiting on? Come on, live Antikemi. We love you. See you soon.